welcome back. We have another Q&A. But first, let's introduce everyone. I'm Onyx Prime. I play your co-DM, your god, your Primus for this series, bringing us to our other co-DM.
Hi, I'm Kilobyte. I am the other DM.
Fantastic. All right, so let's have the order of appearance in this series go first. Go ahead and say what characters you play, their faction, short little description of what each character looks like. Kilo.
Hi, I'm Kilobyte. I'm the other DM once again. I play Stormburst and Grease. Stormburst is a Cybertronian spaceship. He's orange with gray. He has an eye patch. And he used to be a mercenary. He's now an ex-Prime, I guess, because he doesn't have a Matrix. And then there's Grease, who was a Decepticon. He's now an ex-Decepticon. And he's a little minicon. He has multicolored parts around his body because he scavengers parts from other bots. He has a big chin and he talks like this, you say? That's about it.
You
Right
sounded
on.
so angry the entire time.
He's like, I gotta get through this real quick.
You want to give this a shot?
Yes. I play as Scorchfire Prime, Indigo, Scorchfire Prime, and Synthwave. Scorchfire and Indigo are, I guess, technically sort of the same person. Both turn into Fancy as a sports car. Obviously by Indigo's name. She's indigo colored. And she's not quite an Autobot anymore, I guess. And then Scorchfire is blue and just trying to survive. And Synthwave, by the name, loves music. Little mint green rescue bot helicopter. And is, spoilers, deceased.
No.
Sad.
Next up we have clickbait.
Is that like married?
Okay, now I will take my turn. Now that everybody else who has gone before has appropriately taken their turn. Anyways, what's up, guys? I'm Clickbait. I play Mantix and Allegory, who are both relatively different from each other.
You also play
Mantix
Evil
is-
Mantix.
Oh, and I did play Evil Mantix, which was a whole lot of fun, and I did not get to do that for very long. Oh,
Turns
and I
into
play
a
Alchemy.
Cybertronian or Naboo starfighter.
Oh, my promise, we're getting back on that. Anyways, so I play Mantix, Evil Mantix, Allegory, and Alchemy. Mantix is a big, tall Seeker ex-Decepticon assassin. He's now just kind of an assassin for his family. He's trying to write the timeline. He transforms into F-22 Raptor. Evil Mantix is the same, but he's very much still a Decepticon at heart. He did not last very long. That's what you get for being evil. And then we've got Allegory, and she is an Autobot intelligence officer. She transforms into a Cybertronian jet. She is currently don't know where, don't know what, don't know why, and she doesn't either. Gonna cry. I'm gonna start crying right now. And then there's Alchemy, who is a detective on a strange timeline where Energon became poisonous, which is fun. And yeah, those are my characters.
Fantastic. Next up we have Lapis.
Hi, I'm Beavis. Hi, I'm Lapis. I play Frostfang, Scourge, and Smolder. So, Frostfang and Scourge, complete opposites, but they're the same character.
And a theme with a lot of you players here.
I know, it's crazy.
A lot of
I wonder
opposites.
why.
Yeah.
Two sides of a same
So
coin.
weird.
How many ways can we say the same thing?
So, Frostfang, just a super sweet, big, tall dragon lady who's blue, and I love her, and I miss her. And then we have Scourge, and she's a big, mean dragon lady who's purple, and I love her.
Yeah.
And I don't
Would you
miss
say
her
you're torn
because she's alive.
between the two?
A little,
Wow.
a little torn.
Wow.
You know, they might have
Too soon?
taken my
Too
arm
soon?
off. And then we have the mascot, the little man, the legend, the myth. We have Smolder.
My
He's just a
son.
little guy. He's a
My
little 5 foot
child.
tall,
My
5 foot
boy.
tall red dragonfly who keeps getting adopted by people, but he has a god in his head who is taking control of him. And he talks like this because he's just a little guy. And that's all from me. I play those 3 characters and I love them and I give them a kiss on the little head. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Fabulous. Celeste, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Celeste, and I play as Domina. And I just realized I'm the only one in this session playing one character. Thank God, because I'm seeing
Keep
you
it
guys
that way,
stress
man.
out
Keep
with
it that way.
descriptions and everything. I'm like, whew, I get zoned out just with one character here. Domina is a Cybertronian from another dimension. Her current form is a Cybertronian train, but she could be whatever you want to be, except the light in your darkest hour. She has bad timing and
No.
rescue people. Don't count on her for
Oh man.
That's it.
Right on. And then I play a character, Scorchamus, which is a red gender bent shattered glass version of Scorchfire. Different paths, obviously. Similar but different, is I guess as well as saying. Definitely more what's the opposite of introvert? Outrovert?
Extroverted?
Remember, correct me. Anyway, we're gonna move on to our first question.
But wait, Onyx, you forgot your other 10 billion characters, like,
all the supporting
Unicron
characters?
and
Oh my
the
Yeah.
nameless one,
You want
and
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
The
Yeah, all
whole
the other
list.
supporting characters with the help of voice mods such as Liege Maximus, Galaxy Wave, Unicron, and probably many more like Era and such. But we don't need to dive into that. Kilo, is there a question you would like to ask the DM? Anything about
Yeah.
your character for any episode that you have been in?
Yeah, no, I think for the listeners, this is not going to be a surprise, but I feel like somebody in here might be a surprise based on a recent art that was made. So my question is, will Greece ever get to romance Cyclonus, aka Oil,
hello?
again?
Oh, hello?
It's okay, so we can definitely tell who hasn't been listening to the episodes. Not to out anyone, Lapis.
Oh,
Kilo, to answer
Wow.
your
Wow.
question.
I'm a little behind, okay?
To answer your question, it's certainly possible, though Greece being in love with and married to an inanimate object begs the question, would Oil remember Greece in the same way? Given Unicron melded a shattered glass skywarp and a bombshell together with Oil's pieces to create Cyclonus. It's really hard to say. Really hard to say.
I believe in the power of true love, and I think
Okay.
it'll conquer.
That's
And
beautiful.
if
Aw.
Greece survives his adventure within the depths of Unicron, being hunted by Cyclonus and the sweeps, how or what would Greece's reaction be seeing his friends again, and what would he do?
I think he'd be excited, especially since he's kind of alone, but with a partner. And recently, the partner wasn't doing too good, so I think seeing friendly faces once again, I think he'll be happy, and he might give a hug, but it'll depend
Wow.
on.
He's
It'll
opening up
depend
about
if
his
the
feelings.
moment, if the moment takes over and the emotions, run wild, he might give
Yeah.
a hug.
He'll deny that he did it, though, I bet.
Yeah, he will
Yeah,
for sure.
okay. That makes
Nothing,
sense.
it didn't happen.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate that answer. I'm going to stick with the same order. Hex, do you have a question?
So, first question is and this is for obviously any character I've played, have I done anything that surprised you? Like you were sure I was going to do this one action and then I did like a 180 and did something totally different?
Honestly, not too much this season. I usually rely a lot on plan A. Very rarely I go to plan B or C. Those do happen. It's not surprising. I'm just like, well, they might do this too. However, there has been an item one of your characters possessed that I thought you would have used by now on another character or player, but I can't think of anything else during this season that took me by super surprise.
Okay, fair.
I have a rebuttal question for you.
Okay.
Starting with the initial scene between Scorchfire and Scorchamus in too recent, how has your thoughts changed or evolved between these characters, and how do you feel on the differences between Scorchfire and what we call Indigo Scorchfire as well?
I love seeing the differences between them and watching them interact. I think it's really, really fun. I think how do I put this? You can see like the differences between them so much more when they interact. I think initially Scorchfire toward Scorchamus, like she was really, really, really upset. But when they finally got to meet up again,
Eons later.
eons later,
Days
feel
to
like
him, probably.
I think she was like, I kind of want to say like softened by time. Like it's not worth getting upset about, and she sees that he's not like as sinister as she's made in her head. Whereas I feel like Indigo just saw him as awful.
Fantastic. Clickbait. Do you have a question?
My premise, yes, I do. This question is apparently I can't change it now. Directed at Onyx, and it is what do you think from a DM standpoint and watching what all of our characters have gone through has been the hardest part of these adventures and what's been happening for Mantix?
Staying alive.
Did you just say staying alive?
Oh
Staying
my
alive.
god.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Up until recently, it's been trying to find his friends again, though I know the hardest decision still lies in front of him. No further hints or
no.
spoilers or information about that. What is going to be given out at this time. Though I expect both you and the fans may be very sad when it happens.
I'm so upset
Oof.
by that answer.
You're still being tormented by the DM, even if you're not playing.
Now, outside
Why?
of the D&D, you have had a lot of theories about what may happen or what things are or how did you feel about the power source of the TBD watches, and is there another theory you feel strongly about that has yet been revealed or answered?
I think currently my biggest theory is that Galaxy Wave, the Galaxy Wave that he found when he found that processor, that dead Galaxy Wave, I think he's using that to go back in time and stop Era and the TBD, Era aka Shockwave, from ever becoming Era and the TBD. And I think that these murders that we saw in the steampunk timeline are Galaxy Wave going back and trying to eliminate these different shockwaves. That's why I think they're not an isolated event. I think he's just going through and trying to pick timelines, which begs the question, is the TBD version that we see in this timeline what it was supposed to be, or is this version of the TBD what it became after Galaxy Wave killed the shockwave that should have been Era with the correct coping mechanisms and the correct motivations, and this twisted version of the TBD that's causing all of these complications is because Galaxy Wave managed to get the information to go back and kill the right shockwave that became Era that would have had an easier time stopping him, which is why the TBD is so freaked out and looking for all of us and the wreckers to try and clean up their mess because the timeline has been tampered with. And I think that is,
stuff.
yeah. So I think currently we're dealing with a changing timeline and everything's in motion. And the Era who is becoming Era from 716 was never supposed to be Era in the first place.
Dun dun dun. That's a big theory. That's a really big theory.
That's a big theory. That's my most recent one.
One way to find out. All right, next up we have Lapis.
All right. So, the big question, Mr. DM, is there a specific part of Scourge that you like the most? This could be like her backstory, her personality, all that fun jazz.
I enjoy the subtle struggle within her that we're kind of starting to see blossom. She started out as Frostfang, as most of us know by now, and her identity was stripped from her and became a servant of Unicron. Then Galaxy Wave gave her her past lives memories. Not necessarily her life back, but memories of her previous past. And now we see a little bit of distrust between her and Unicron, and going forward from that point. Now, it'll be interesting to see if she'll defy Unicron, or try to escape from his grasp, or see how she feels about Galaxy Wave slowly distancing himself from the Chaos Bringer with his own plan.
I suppose we'll have to find out.
Part. So here's my question to you, not necessarily about Scourge, but as Smolder being yeeted from the group whenever Leech took over, how has this affected you playing the character?
I feel very out of the loop, like 90% of the time. Honestly, this does actually give me the chance, though, to kind of say I've purposely made Smolder more and more feral as time goes on because of Liege. I haven't actually had the chance to really voice this yet, but as we know, Liege is taking over and slowly deleting memories and whatnot. And he's already deleted the memory of Starscream, so Smolder really doesn't know how he became who he is or how he got to where he is. It's just gone. So I'm just slowly making him more and more feral as time goes on. So getting yeeted from the chat has really allowed me to do that more, because I come back to these situations where everybody's like, dang, Lapis, we're real sorry. And I'm like, so guys, do you want to have a snack or like, and there's just blood all over the floor.
He's going back to his roots.
He's going back to his roots. He's becoming Bug.
Fantastic. Celeste.
Huh, what happened? Just kidding.
I feel like this is related to your question you're about to ask me.
I'm an old lady. So, do you ever get mad that Celeste, me, zones out in the sessions, especially when you give a descripted scene only to be told, what happened again?
Me? No, at least I try not to. I know we have a large cast, and sometimes it probably feels like you're waiting 10 or 15 minutes for your turn to speak or do something. So it's usually easy to edit out when I have to re-describe scenes or when there's a long pause. But there's also sometimes where more detail is released, or I feel like a long enough distance has happened between my last description. So it's not only like good to remind the players, but also the listeners. So no, not mad at all.
Oh, thank God. Such a bad
Now, if I had
habit.
a
I
squirt
tried to
bottle-
listen a lot.
And I think there's one more question here. Oh yes, this is a question for myself. Is this story going to have a happy net ending? Like, will the good guys win, aka our players? And to that I say, Onyx, excellent question, fabulous question, A+ question. I think it will. For some, it will feel like a bittersweet ending, but unlike a lot of these mini arcs or other stories I work on, I think it will be a satisfying ending. One, I think that'll mark the end of what there is to tell. Now, that doesn't mean you all die. They'll probably still go off and do their own little adventures, meet new bots, change more lives. It just marks the end of what this continuity has to offer for audio format that could evolve into something else, maybe short comic appearances or short little appearances in other audios going forward. Who knows? But I think their campaign or sessions are over at the end of this. Good question. I love these really, really difficult ones. At this point, I'm going past the question and DMing over to our co-DM, Kilo.
Hi, Codium here. I will start with Onyx for the first question.
Oh, wow. I get to ask 2 questions in a row. Nice. So, Kilo, what has been your favorite moment where you thought everything was going according to plan, and yet the players did something entirely different?
So you're talking about like the whole campaign, right? Because everything's been derailed.
Sure, why not?
Well, I think the one that I had a big laugh was Smolder taking a picture while being surrounded by the cops. I was definitely not expecting Smolder to just, take a picture and...
That was fantastic.
Hey, he
That
would
was
have gotten
great.
away with it.
That was
if he
really
wanted
good.
to.
Great to, like,
Cops.
have
Someone
evidence
didn't have
on
their
them.
phone on
Mom, I
silent.
got a picture. Let's go.
Yeah, man, Scorchfire received the notification and she didn't have her ringer on silent, so the cops heard it and they were like, "Man, what's that?"
It was just so funny. I really enjoyed it. But sir, I have a question for you.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So how has it been playing Orchimus?
How has it been?
Yeah, especially since the first one you played in RD&Ds was Cross Summit, and he was a little bit more shy.
Yeah.
And so Scorchimus is more out there, and
Yeah.
So how's it been?
Going from an introvert bot to a very not introvert bot, and going from a very shy and collective and very to himself for the most part to Scorchimus, who very much enjoys the buddy system, very much enjoys making friends, especially with big, tall lady robots or flying ones, for that matter. I think it's been fun. I like playing characters that have 2 sides of the same coin. I just, oh no, it's very different.
We can't keep
perspectives.
using that.
It's part of the joke now. No, I really enjoyed playing because I like playing characters that also have their own faults. In this case, Scorchimus, their fault, I guess, is they don't necessarily trust you at first when they meet you. They're just trying to survive. And I think that's pretty obvious the first couple interactions they've had with the other players.
I think so. I think we've seen that. It's a good answer. I will go in a different order because there's one answer here that's pretty long, so I want to leave that one to last. So I will move on to clickbait.
Oh my goodness. My second question is obviously for you, Hilo. And my question is, last we saw Allegory, she was not in a good spot. And are we going to see her again in any capacity? That's my question.
To that question, I will have to say that it will be revealed in due time, aka TBD. And
I hate that answer
you
so
do
much.
with that information what you want.
I'm going to sit over here and just silently fume about it. That's what I'm going to do.
And they
I'm
say
just
I'm
going to be
mean.
upset. At least you answered my question.
Did I
Well-
know?
No.
Well, I have a question for you. Talking about
my gosh.
Allegory, what do you think has happened to Allegory while she has been in the timeline with tarantulas and Black Arachnia, giving, past kidnappings?
I mean, I feel like there's so much that happened. It's really a toss up with these. It's really not fair that you guys get to plan out your answers to the questions we ask and then we just get bombarded with these questions. First of all, let me just say that and get that out of the way.
Order in the court.
No, hold me in contempt.
Overruled.
Overruled. I call my counsel.
Mistrial.
Oh my promise.
Objection.
Anyways, so I feel like
Court is
it's
adjourned.
really hard.
Everybody go home.
I want time to plan. I call for what is it called? A recess.
Dodgeball.
If we do that, I think we'll lose a member. They'll fall asleep. So I'll need
Anyways.
an answer.
Okay, I'm working on the answer. Primus. Anyways, what I was trying to say is I feel like it's really hard to speculate to what extent Allegory is going to be manipulated or experimented on because these characters traditionally have such a wide range of tendencies and things that they will do to other bots that they capture or kidnap, especially if those bots have, set abilities like Allegory can manipulate her colors. And so I'm concerned we know both of them are techno-organic, so I'm contemplating that possibly there's going to be some sort of biological tampering as well as manipulation into a tool that they can utilize to their advantage or to whomever they're aligned. Or maybe they just don't care whatsoever and they just want to experiment on her until she dies. And I'm going to start crying again. And I feel so bad for her because she doesn't even have memories of who she is or what she is or the friends that she made along the way and the bots that she came to care about having come from such an isolated background that she has nothing to hold on to. This pain and suffering is all she's going to know, and that makes me really sad.
Well, that was depressing.
Other DM, did you take notes? Because we can use that information for future references.
I don't need to. Most of this is stuff I've already had written down before in my brain.
I promise. You asked. That's what you get for asking questions I can't
As
prepare
Scorchamus, though, I'm crying on the inside.
Allegory would be crying if she knew who you were.
Well, let's switch the tone and we'll move on to Lapis.
All right, guys, I gotta bring us back. Anyways, that was sad. So, DM, who do you enjoy having your characters interact with more? Frostfang or Svolder?
Well, this is a simple answer in the sense that I don't think I've interacted with Frostfang, at least Stormburst or Grease.
Oh my gosh, you're right!
Technically, you have, just not as Frostfang.
Well,
Okay,
yeah, well,
that's true.
But if it's Scourge, I hate him.
Hey, don't hate her.
If it's Frostfang, I haven't interacted with that version, but I do want to say that I did enjoy my conversation with Smolder while we were on the Titan planet. Stormburst was laughing again, and for a few minutes he forgot how bad things were, and I really enjoyed that character kind of little change. I did that while we were playing. I think it helped him a lot.
Oh, yeah, no, I do love the fact that Spolder could just be like this comedy relief for the other characters. He can give people the break that they need. And I love being that character. I love just saying such out-of-pocket things and making everybody laugh. But thank you, that was a good answer.
Well, I have a question for you.
Oh boy.
What do you think is Liege's master plan And where does Smolder fit into?
Well, I can't say what Liege's master plan is.
Well,
So,
what do you think he might be planning?
gosh, it's so hard to say. I honestly think that he's looking to. I think he might be interested in gaining Unicron's power in some way. If I'm being honest, he sees what's happening around him, and like this guy is a narcissist, and he thinks he's great. And he's not because he's living in my head. So screw him. I'm better. But anyways, he clearly thinks he's great, and I think that he's threatened by somebody who's stronger than him. So I have this horrible feeling that Smolder's gonna die horrifically, and then he's gonna go after Unicron. That is my theory, and I don't like it, but it's probably gonna. I think Smolder's gonna die one way or another.
Well, listeners, stay tuned.
You guys will get to hear the screams of the little man.
Well, now let's go with Celeste and see what kind of questions they have for us.
Let's see. Second question. Okay, this is for Kilobyte now. All right, has Domina? I feel like we've been giving these everybody's been giving the same question now. So, has Domina ever made a decision during your session you wish they had not done, or you had expected to have done something else, like in a specific moment during your sessions?
That's a good question. I don't think she has, and I don't mean it in a way that I've planned for every option that you might come of. But I think Domina is the least random of the group. I think she has a path and a way of thinking, and she sticks to it, and she doesn't try to go off of it. So it's been pretty straightforward.
That's nice to hear, to be honest.
But I do have a question for you, and it's related to Domina.
Oh,
How
I'm not ready.
has Domina changed from when you first wrote her for your AU to being incorporated to this crazy campaign?
Besides how they jump to other timelines, it's so different to her. But the fact that they don't act like agents to her, it's more like for them, they're always panicking. And she's trying like not to be the one bossing them around. She has to like push herself away from them and see how they behave to understand them, what's their pattern to them, because she reminds herself it's not her team. Whatever strategies they use, she has to try to follow them, sometimes incorporate her own ideas, but she understands she's not the leader. She's in a whole different environment with a whole different team, so she is very much depending on them. At least they know what's going on with this whole time travel stuff, so she doesn't have to be so secretive. It's only recently she did let out one of her secrets because it's like, hey, you know what? They need my thing, so I'm gonna give it to them at least if it's needed, to save the universe. But she is just kind of concerned how whoever's like the leader for them, they're not really there for them. That's the thing. So she just internally panicked, like, are these guys going to survive? I mean, she already failed on Frostfang, and she's pretty much traumatized with that, and she hopes she can find a way to bring her back after this whole thing is over. If she survives, she wants to try to either make everything work out for Frostfang or try to just bring her back however she can, even if she might have to break some rules with her own with the Chronicle Council in her universe.
I like that. Well, we'll just have to stay tuned and see how that turns out.
Yes, sir.
And finally, we have Hex.
Kilo, my question for you. Were there any hints at any point that you were trying to give to me about either an action you wanted me to take, something you wanted me to notice, etc.? And I just would not notice.
I did, but it was a character choice, and you as the player would notice, and maybe your character would, but they were busy at the moment. But I did do a little bit of a nod with Stormburst when he took a step back and just watched Scorchfire hug Mantix and Smolder. And so at this time, this is what went through his mind. So he took the moment, seeing you all happy and finally coming to terms that he doesn't want to take that from you guys, especially after all the death has seen, and just being alive and having Galaxy Wave hunt him down, killing anyone that doesn't matter. So he's just like, he was happy when he first saw you and Smolder at the Vanguard, but then the more things happen, the more he's like, okay, I think I should not even get involved and just let them be. And he noticed that like he was being selfish, thinking he could just expect to come back and be things normal again. And so
Aw.
that's what happened in that episode where he just stood there with Scorchamus.
I kind of don't blame him for thinking that it could like kind of go back to normal though, but it's a really interesting perspective.
Yeah, I don't know if I portrayed it well enough, but I think that's what I was trying to do by just standing there. But with that, I do have a question for you. How has Scorchfire's journey changed the way you play them? You know, getting stuck in a dead timeline for a long time, betrayed by a different you, seeing Victor Prime die, talking to Galaxy Wave, and all the things he mentioned in that conversation.
I think it. She like to think that it hasn't bothered her at all of this shenanigans, so to speak, happening. But I think it's kind of hardened her a little bit. She's a little less willing to trust and more trying to like weigh her options of what they should be doing first instead of just sort of like diving in headlong. But I think it's also kind of made her depressed. The poor dear.
I get that. Stormburst is in there too. Well, with that, I think we'll move to your guys' third question for us.
No. You have a question to yourself, I believe, sir.
That is true, but it's a funny yet great question. And is Kilobyte, is Grease worthy of a Matrix? And I would have to say yes, he is worthy of a Matrix. He's the Air Supreme Commander of the Decepticon, and it's a long title that I can't remember at the moment. And just because he has that title, I think he's worthy.
Wow, fake Grease fan here.
Wow.
It's a long one, okay? We keep adding to it.
Yeah. Aren't you the player? Anyway, all right. So we're on question 3. I think we should choose a new order, someone who has not gone first, which is many of you all out there. I believe Clickbait and Hex both went first, so it's a toss-up between Celeste and Lapis. What do you think, sir?
It was Celeste.
Okay, Celeste.
Will we ever see the sudden Shadow Glass versions of our characters out of the blue again?
You're asking both of us, or one of us, or just in general?
Who was the DM who introduced them? It was
Onyx.
Onyx, right?
Okay. All right,
Onyx
I'll
is
answer it first, and then Kilo, if you want to add onto it, I think that might be
That
the way
works.
to answer this one. So maybe it's entirely possible. There is one idea I want to include, but might not be how you all think it will play out. But it'll definitely shock you all, I think.
Oh my gosh, the theories just
That's
expanded in
not
my
bode
brain.
well.
Kilo, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think it's possible because I think it's always fun having the moral struggle of seeing your character experience a different version of themselves and seeing them react to a what if I wasn't like this? What if, if I wasn't in the Autobots, how would I turn out if I was in the Decepticons or something like that? So I think it's always fun playing with that idea.
Yeah, you kind of forget Domino's not on either side.
That's true. But it doesn't mean that the Shattered Glass version didn't pick us up.
The morality of these characters. All right.
Fantastic.
Shall we go with Lapis?
I think so.
The Beebus! Alright. So, I will go ahead and pose this question to both of you, because I'm a silly little guy. If you could change anything from a single session, what would it be and why?
You want to answer this one first, sir?
Can't. I don't think I would change anything, even if the session didn't turn out how I had originally planned and things changed and, I had to improvise. I think it's a collaborative effort between all of us, right? Because you're the players, I'm the DM, and we're building this world together. And I think those random acts is what adds to the story and makes memorable moments. And I wouldn't want to take that away from the story that we're creating.
Oh, that's such a sweet answer. All right, Onyx, time to crush my soul. What you got?
Yeah, everything. Everything that involves Smolder, Frost, and no, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke. No, I'm not sure I would change anything. I really enjoy how majority of the scenes have played out. Each player's character feels different from the rest, and it's really fun to see how they all try to work together or alone when trying to find a solution to problems or one another sometimes. So I wouldn't change anything.
Oh.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Good answers.
You know who's been really quiet, Kilo?
Who?
Hex and Clickbait, but I can't figure out who I'm going to pick on first.
Well, you always pick on Mantix, aka Clickbait. I think we should poke Hex and then
Poke
leave
Hex?
Clickbait for last.
Okay. Hex, what you got for us?
All right. I got. Do you like, to the both of you, do you enjoy making these poor bots suffer so much?
I want to make a disclaimer. I am being forced to do that by Onyx. He's the evil one. Somebody
Wow,
please
wow,
help me.
wow.
This is a credit help. Please.
Sure.
I've done nothing.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Makes great character development, great entertainment. I especially love sending these poor sparks their own personal challenge their character would be uncomfortable with so that they can overcome it, or in some cases ask another character for help and create a bond. Trauma bonding.
And this includes your own characters as well?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. When dealing with characters that the DMs run, we work a lot together on because we don't want anything to be overpowered. We don't want anything to go exactly planned. Some things are hidden from the other DM.
In his notes, it says plot armor. I don't know what that means, but
he does
yeah.
not say that.
I believe you, Kilo. I believe you, Kilo.
See, I'm telling the truth. Why nobody
It
believes me?
says Apex armor. Learn to read.
Ah, man.
That
This
track.
Earth language is so hard.
Anything else you want to add to that, sir, other than being a tattletale?
No, I think the suffering cycle has to happen because it's the journey. It's a journey, right? It can't be perfect. Things have to go wrong, and you have to overcome those challenges.
My God.
Clickbait.
My question is, we've talked about what you would change. We've talked about some other things. What I want to know is, what are you most excited for that is still to come? Whether it's a character or a plot piece or a twist, as much as I would like you to spoil it, I know you won't. What are you excited for both of you?
Well, sir, you want to go first?
I suppose. Oh boy, there's so much left to tell, and I think all of it is worth getting excited for. We are reaching towards the end of the season, so a lot of the B, C, and occasional D plots are going to collide with you all, the A plots. Long-standing questions will be answered, and threats will emerge, and it's going to be fun to see how you all guys figure it out.
You're kidding me, Smalls.
I'm probably gonna cry, huh?
I hope so. If everything
Oh,
I do
no.
correctly.
See,
No.
again, not me.
He's so mean.
No, I think there's still quite a few things that are coming up that I'm not even sure you expect them to happen. So I'm excited to see the reactions and see what your characters do in the moments.
Boo, you guys are so vague.
Well, that's why we're DMs.
Yeah, we're DMs for a reason. Speaking of DMs, I have a question for you,
Carefully crafted
Kilobyte.
questions.
Yes.
If you had to choose, my fellow DM of mine, co-DM, co-pilot, between Grease and Stormburst Convoy, whom do you want to see more of, and whom do you hope makes it out alive, and why?
I would like to plead the fifth.
Fair enough. All right, moving on.
No! Not fair. We all answer. You gotta answer too, bro.
No, I think I would like to see them both survive because back in season 1, I was the only one that died. So I think it's only fair that both of mine survive.
you almost died. Well, you did die in season 1, and then because it was only episode 2. I was like, I felt bad.
Well, yeah,
And
then I
you
died
actually
twice.
died at the end.
So it's even worse. So I died for both of these characters, and I think they should live.
Yeah, we'll see. Only time will tell. To be determined. TBD. Insert another time joke here.
Well, I have a question for you.
You don't say.
Yeah, no, this is a long-standing question. Is why is Shockwave / Galaxy Wave always here, there, and everywhere? Can't he just stay home for a day? And
Here, there, and everywhere. Wow, that's quite a question. So, wow, that's a much more specific question than what you wrote down. Now I have to think
it's the
about this more.
same. It's the same one.
You in this one it says, "Why is there shockwaves everywhere?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I can answer that one." Now it's
You
more
know what I
specific
was
towards
talking
Galaxy
about.
Wave. Okay, so Galaxy Wave is here, there, and everywhere because he is messing with the timeline. He is collectively still working for Unicron, but as shockwaves always do, they're actually working for themselves, and they're just taking use of the resources that their current master, they hate using that word, provides. And we see him here, there. We've seen hints of him sprinkled throughout the season, and a hint in season 2 of him going and killing other shockwaves and taking their brain module, trying to learn something, trying to figure something out. We see him going to other timelines, pulling out cross-summons to power his own TBD watches. We've seen him use Synthwave's ability when trying to kill Scorchfire, so we know he's somehow acquired that. We're not entirely sure how yet. Now, his ultimate goal has yet to be revealed, although it is slowly being sprinkled between all of the episodes, and there's been a couple hints on what it eventually will become, but it has not been said exactly. So why is he everywhere? Because that's where the resources are.
I don't like my fellow bots being called a resource.
Does that answer your question?
I think for
You
the
think?
time being.
For the time being, I see what you did there. Shall we move to the ending portion of this Q&A?
I think so. I think there was at the beginning you mentioned that if they had another question they could answer it, but
If they have another question, okay, I think we might be able to squeeze in 1 or 2 good questions if the group can collectively come together as a whole and use the power of friendship and come up with
Oh,
one
man,
or
that's
2
not gonna
questions
happen.
they can agree with. I think we could tackle that. What do you
Who's-
say, group?
Everyone
the
say your
most
questions
gay?
all at once.
Who's the most gay? Who's the gayest bot?
I feel like Clickbait would have the
Frostfang
best
was.
question.
Frostfang was. You're right.
Why
All right.
me?
Was.
You have the good questions, Mantix.
I'm just trying to get the DMs to give out information.
What's it like DMing and playing a character?
Chaotic. Especially
Yeah,
All
if
right.
you're doing
Those were
both
the
in
2
one
questions,
session.
guys.
yeah, it's pretty
Fingers has
crazy.
to go, Mimi.
Especially when you don't want to, because you know a little bit. You don't know what the twist that the other DM has, but you know the basic of the plot or the idea for that session, and you don't want to spoil it or point the team into a specific section because we still want that collaboration between all your decisions and all that.
We're basically another punching bag.
Yeah.
Have any of the
Nice.
other characters done anything that surprised you? I think we talked Smolder and Domina.
Huh?
You guys asked.
Sorry,
You guys asked.
that's-
You guys
Any of
asked,
the
has
other
our character
characters.
done anything that surprised you or caught you off guard that you didn't expect them to do? And so I was asking it for the other 2 characters.
Oh.
I don't think so. There's been a couple times with Frank's character, Starscream, but it's usually his monologues that I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were going to do that for like 10, 15 minutes. But, it's expected at
wonderful.
this point. Lindsay's character, Alita 1, I think we figured her out. She's definitely there for business. She's there for pew, get things done. What do you think, Kilo?
Yeah, no puzzles. Puzzles are a
No
bad
puzzles. Puzzles, bad idea.
I think
Oh, I got one. There was a puzzle fight with Era, but you guys blow right through the puzzle. Like it didn't matter.
Oh yeah,
You guys
I
took
had
them
an
down
idea
way
about
too
that.
fast.
I had a pretty good idea what you were doing. I only had one piece not figured out.
Kill him?
I was gonna say I think with Scorchfire and the demon, I forgot the I'm so
Devoid?
bad. Devoid. Scorchfire and Devoid, I think how the card game went
I really wanted to win. I want you to know this.
was very unexpected. Not even a comment from the character. I see how it is.
Yeah,
okay, we can move
They're
on.
dead.
I don't want to interrupt you guys.
Well, that was it.
Yeah, it's fine. You can.
I don't
this
think I
is-
was there for that, so I can't question or comment on that.
Any other burning questions? Rising theories?
Do you guys want to ask us any more questions?
Are you guys having fun?
Yes.
Sometimes I'm sad.
Yeah, I
Like
have
it
a feeling it's
happens,
gonna
you
just
play.
get more and
Angry.
more sad from here on out.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
like I
just how
said at the
it is.
beginning of the season, each death will be sadder than the last.
Thanks for
Mantic still
that.
doesn't have his son, and he has something for him.
Ooh, my toy.
Another being that's
Bro, I
smart.
survived. I'm still traumatized
But
from that.
he found
Okay.
his Scorchfire.
Let's do the quick group fire question. So these is the
Oh, no.
last. I have 21 of them. So unlike previously, where we had all the players say the same character's name or who they thought best related to the statement, this time it will be reversed. A character's name will be said. Each player will describe their favorite thing about that character in no more than one sentence. You can do less than a sentence, but no more than one sentence. Everyone will go at the same time after the name has been said. So let the chaos begin. And Kilo and I will be alternating names. Are we ready? Do we understand the rules?
Yeah.
So we just have to
Yeah.
describe
Ready.
the
Oh,
character
gosh, I guess
in
keep a
one
mic on
sentence
now.
or less.
Just shout.
Yes.
And it just a sentence. A sentence.
A
Within
word.
one
Run-on
sentence. Yeah, it could be one
Got it.
word.
No, a sentence.
That's it.
No,
I will
sentence.
cut you off after 5 seconds. I'm sorry.
Oh,
No, that's not a sentence.
Starting off with number
You have to
one.
be specific.
Leech Maximo.
Chaos.
Big
Sure.
Stinky.
Peter.
No comment.
Okay. Galaxy Wave.
Big
Bigger
man.
Stinky.
Very, 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 very not nice person with control issues.
Intimidating, to be
Let me
honest.
reiterate the words. Describe something that their favorite thing about that character and no more than-
Stinky.
That's why I
man.
said no comment.
I
for
got no
Legion
favorites,
Maximo.
right?
No
Wow, you
comment.
guys
What
are
is
so
the thing?
nice.
I like the Chaos Leech brings.
Number
Galaxy
3.
Wave, only give him his name. That's a nice prime name.
Scorchfire Prime.
Gay.
Hot.
Not the sweetest little
Bae.
thing ever to grace the entire universe.
I
Let
like
me
that
have
she
him.
tries.
Mother.
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 Next up is Scourge.
Oh,
Lady.
lady.
Actually,
Your
really very
little
interesting.
misguided child.
Awesome
Another
design.
one without a comment.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness.
Number 5. Mantix.
Father.
He
He is,
tries.
I
He's way
like him
too
because he's
hot.
like a
Guys.
tsundere. He is very tsundere. Sorry, guys. That's just what Domina and I see, like tsundere.
Father hot man.
Oh man.
Next up is Domina.
Call.
Oh, lady.
Large lady.
No comment.
Sweet.
Ah! It's okay.
Number
Sweet
7.
grandma.
Stormburst Convoy.
He tries.
Big sad.
I like that he
Tired
tries.
man who just
Sorry.
wants a family.
Somebody give this man a nap.
He needs a hug.
He needs a nap and a cup of hot energon.
Yes.
I like his determination.
Tuck him in
He's
at
so
night.
cute. Give him a hug.
Tuck him in.
Domina can talk a moon. Next.
Scorchimus, sorry. My bad. Next up is Scorchimus.
Yeah, the best
I
made him
one.
very
hot.
I need 20 of him.
He's
All the
very
adjectives.
flirtatious.
Very flirty.
Pretty boy.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll take it all. Number 9. Grease.
And this
The
Grease.
accent, man.
Married. Grease is
Yeah,
The
married.
most amazing commander
Or
of the
is he?
Deception.
Happy marriage.
Sadly, one character my character hasn't met, but I would love for them to be.
What brings us together today?
Next up, we have Era.
Sharp.
He got
I hate
man.
Era.
Interesting.
Awesome design.
Misguided.
Mhm.
Enigma, pretty much. He's still an enigma to me.
Number 11. Frostfang.
Dead. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe.
Torn to pieces.
Deserved a
R.I.P.
better end.
I failed her.
He did so
She
good.
did her best.
I like that she
I
tried.
liked
Mini
it when
fun
she was
buddies.
alive. though.
Next up, we
Yay.
have Synthwave.
Win.
Best girl ever.
Baby.
Must protect.
Who
Bring
is
her back.
inside.
Drop the beat.
Give her kiss.
Mm.
Mwah.
Had a really
True,
fun
true.
death, not gonna lie.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, so
What?
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I never knew.
Number 13. Allegory.
Oh,
Best girl ever.
Uh,
Alright, hold on. Who is this?
no, stop. My poor thing.
You gotta make her cry.
We'll bring her back. We'll bring her back once we beat Galaxy Wave and try to figure out this whole universe thing.
She's not with Galaxy Wave.
I'm just saying, first we gotta kill him, and then we could figure out how to fix the whole timeline and stuff. We'll bring back Allegory and Scorch. Not
Allergy.
Scorchfire. Shoot him away. Frostfang. Yeah.
What a sentence.
Next up, we have Starscream.
Late.
Late.
Oh,
Wow.
best
Is that what
boy.
Favorite
Drama
thing about
queen.
Starscream?
Most
Yeah.
mischievous
He's
little
got
guy.
motivations that
Mysterious.
are.
You know what? His
Very
end is
much-
what's saving him in this
Monologue.
session, to
His
be honest.
relationship was Boulder.
Mischievous
That's
What
true.
mother.
relationship? Smolder doesn't remember.
Shut up.
You know what? That's very cute how he reacted to Smolder. I give him that.
Number 15. Alita 1.
Burger King foot lettuce.
Queen, I want her
The
back.
A-team. She is the A-team.
But-
Real good. Pink
Mhm.
lady.
Acid.
Best
Prime.
lady.
Best of the best.
Queen. Slay.
Next up is Unicron. Missing in
Ugh.
action. We hear
Am I-
his name, but we don't see him.
Hungry.
No comment.
Again, no comment.
I like that. I really hate him.
Mhm.
I have mixed
Little
feelings, man. I'm a servant of his.
Shush.
Oh, no, bro.
Number 17. The Nameless One.
Oh my god, the best one.
He's cute. Need to
Literally
know
the
more
best
about it.
character.
Oh, yeah.
Totally earning my
Guan.
By
trust.
far the
Boing,
best
boing, bwomp,
character.
boom.
Boy,
Just make art of him. I want him.
He's
Mhm.
just a round boy.
I
with
just want to
floaty
give
round
him a
arms.
little kiss.
Little guy.
Mwah.
I'll make a design.
Little bub.
Thank you.
I already have an idea. Next
Thank
up,
you.
Historius.
Old.
No
Need to know
comment
more
on that
about it.
one.
I think he's got
Fancy.
something else
No
going on.
comment.
Silly.
List has a lot of stuff to say, and a lot
No
of it is just
comment.
no comment.
I just don't know who this last one is. That's the only reason I could give to that one. No
Are
comment.
It's
thou
a-
not know who I am?
No.
No, I'm the
Wow.
old like
Silly language.
Domina. We
He's
have
the
Bav
fancy
every
guy.
circuits.
He's cute. I like him. I feel like he has good intent. Better than Era's.
Number 19. The Void.
Love.
Never met.
Oh,
Best friend.
sad boy. He wanted to have a friend. I love him.
Love. Give him
Cool
kiss.
arc.
Mwah.
Cool art.
Great arc.
Cool arc.
Competitive.
Yeah,
Like
art.
they had a cool arc
We're
in the
realizing how many
story.
characters we're rating too. Like 17 now, 20?
Yeah, now
We're
it's
doing 21,
20.
bud.
80.
Vector Prime.
The baby.
Oh.
Dead.
I
I'm
like the
sorry I
pupa.
failed you.
Oh.
I miss
No, I would
Pupa.
say I like the voice actor.
I miss you, people.
I
You
love
like the
the
voice
voice
actor.
for
I
Peter.
love the
Oh,
voice
it's
too.
so
Can we get a
good.
demonstration? Can we get a demonstration?
I really love his old man behavior. It's very.
And 21. My favorite. Smolder.
My
son
was boy.
It's almost like I
My
set it up
son,
that
my
way.
child.
Because I thought
my
someone was going
boy.
to ask me.
Little
Small
guy who's I
gremlin
love.
energy.
I love
bet.
the energy.
He is tiny
brings
dog
to the
energy.
table.
Little bub.
Pick him up.
And that is it. That's the main cast. Of course, there's more we can go through, but that's the main cast. Thank you so much for coming up with all these questions and making us having to find complicated answers that made it sound like we know what we're doing. And thank you, listeners, for tuning on in. This is the end of the Q&A, and afterwards we'll have a trailer for episode 24
Ooh.
of
Ooh.
Eons. Probably one of my top 5 favorite episodes.
Ooh,
Ooh.
ominous.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't like that.
We're all gonna die.
Thank you again, Hex, Kilobyte, Celeste, Lapis, Clickbait, and not to sound narcissistic myself, for all being here.
Didn't work.
Yeah, sure, bro.
And until all are one.
Till
Till
all
all
are
are
one.
are one.
One.
Now get out of here.
No.
Okie dokie.
Next time on... Oh, you're gonna make me say this, aren't you? Transform and roll out.
DM.
Yo, dog.
Never mind.
Thank you. Very insightful.
No problem.
Whose turn is it now? It's not my turn.
Sweeps, go for Starscream.
And I point directly at Starscream with a sinister grin.
That's much better because before you were like, just go for the Seeker, and I mean, that's kind of racist, but I don't want to all look alike, you know? I mean,
Careful. I only let my conjux endure get this close to my chest, so don't get any ideas.
He just rolls his eyes.
Scorch was giving you a side eye. Lucky.
What happened?
just say there's more to me than meets the eye.
He said the thing.
Primus.
What a-
Thank you.